Intermediaries can influence care use and costs by limiting the services the plan will cover. We sometimes say plans make coverage decisions. It's common for plans to seek to cover a pretty broad range of services. Generally, you think that they're trying to cover services that are medically necessary, that is, services that medical professionals would commonly say are warranted or indicated for the patient. But there can be some leeway in that area, and intermediaries can take a more or less permissive stance with regard to the services they'll cover. Some may not elect to cover everything out there. Some coverage decisions could be based on efficacy. If there isn't good evidence that a treatment really works, or maybe if something is still considered experimental, then a plan may not cover it. Another thing you'll see is coverage decisions based on costs or on a related criteria of cost effectiveness. Cost effectiveness refers to information comparing the benefits of a new treatment or any treatment to its costs. There are sophisticated tools for doing these analyses, and they can create measures that help identify things that have strong benefits for the money, better value, or that don't produce a lot of benefit given the cost. Intermediaries can use this information in their decision making. For example, when considering whether to cover a new therapy that's been introduced, they could get cost effectiveness information and then decide that they have some cutoffs. If the value's too low, something doesn't look like it provides enough benefit in return for the costs, they could decide not to cover it. If you, the patient, then want the service, you can go get it with your own money, but the intermediary is not going to help pay. The use of costs or cost-effectiveness information in coverage decisions can come up and be applied in different areas. One area where questions about this have come up a lot lately is around new drugs, where there can be some high-priced new treatments that raise interesting cost-effectiveness questions. Different countries have pursued this to different extents. The NHS in the UK is an example of an intermediary that has really worked hard to generate cost-effectiveness evidence and incorporate it in their decisions about what they'll cover. In other countries like the US, this is not common. Of course, making coverage decisions for costs, cost-effectiveness, or any other reason can be controversial. They may help by steering toward efficient services or desirable services and helping manage costs, ideally while maintaining access to important treatments, but getting the balance right and not over-restricting can, of course, be a challenge too.